Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. And good evening. At least on over in Europe, it's evening. It's late at night over there already. But I'm on the East Coast at 7. I know it's only 4 o'clock out on the West Coast. But thanks for joining us. As usual, this is our fast start training Zoom on Monday nights at 7. As you know, I will forward this out either later tonight or first thing in the morning, and post it on our training page on Facebook, and also email it out to the entire team. But I always appreciate those of you that tune in live. It just makes it special when people are on live. So, but the recording will be going out. Couple things, as you know, I'm sure you already know, obviously today is the last day of the month, and you know, we have until midnight to get any last minute orders in. And one of the reasons that's important, and you know, I haven't had a chance to look at where, it's impossible now to look where everybody is as far as maintaining rank or rank advancing in the program. But one thing you need to look at is the promotion the company has going on. And for those of you that, you know, may not be aware of it or weren't tuned in for it, you can just go to the official LifeVantage Facebook page, distributor Facebook page, and see the details. But for anyone that paid to attend the conference in Las Vegas, obviously we were all going there live, you know, and due to the virus and all the different rules and regulations, especially some of these hotels and convention centers are forced to deal with, they actually had to cancel on us. They couldn't accommodate, you know, the 6, 8, 10,000 people that we were going to bring, you know, to Las Vegas. That was the Westgate. And what LifeVantage ended up doing was deciding to go virtual with it. Now, there's a lot of opportunity for those of us that have paid. If you just do 500 new points with either distributors or customers, or a combination of 500 points in new business, our subscriptions and our personal orders don't count. It's new customers or a new distributor. But if you do that, you have an opportunity to get your money back in the form of a gift card, and spend that gift card in the LifeVantage store, plus get some free attendee coupons where you can give it to prospects or other distributors maybe that couldn't afford it. You have an opportunity to do that. So I would advise you to look at what you did this month and see where you are, because you may be closer than you think. You may have already hit it for all I know. I mean, I sent a message out to a few people, but you know, I was getting calls in. I was dealing mostly with Europe because it's much later over there. They've pretty much gone to bed now, but you know, we'll be checking out everything with the rest of the United States. But keep that in mind. I think it's a 2-month thing. Don't hold me to that. I think it's, you know, it's August and September. But I need to double check that just to be sure. So hopefully that I'm not wrong on that one. But anyway, it's a great deal with the 500 points, okay? And for anyone that has not registered, you can get registered for the 500 points, or you can sign up for it virtually and get free tickets that go with it, okay? Where you can give them out to your downline and or prospects, you know? And I'm thinking it's pretty exciting to be able to give it to prospects, because it is going to be recorded and everyone will have access to the replays of the convention for, I believe, a month. Okay, so it would be very, very useful with prospects, with that being the case, very useful. So anyway, just keep that in mind. You know, what I really want to talk about tonight for a few minutes is consistency. And, you know, there's two things in this business that are the detriment to the business, okay? Two things. It's consistency and it's follow-up, okay? Those are the two things when, excuse me, when people fail in the business. when things don't advance the way they want, they have failed because they didn't do proper follow-up and they haven't been consistent in their efforts. And I want to share something with you because, you know, we're always being judged when we get started in a network marketing company, okay? We're always being judged. And here's what I mean by being judged, okay? We're always being judged, and the person that we talk to about our business, they fear getting started because in a lot of cases they fear failure, okay? So what protects them? What is their, you know, what is their protection? Well, their protection is maybe you'll quit and you'll stop doing it too, and they don't need to be reminded of it. Okay, that's the protection, because think of the worst nightmare. Okay, the worst nightmare is, you know, I present something to you, I offer to help you, I offer to be your time, your leverage, and, you know, everything. Your fear says no. I go on and become successful, and you could have went with me and we could have been working it together, and you got to be reminded of that for every day the rest of your life. But if I fail, then you can say, well, see, I knew it was just another one of those things, and he would never make it. And that would be that, okay? So why do people fail? They fail because they fail to follow up, and they're inconsistent. And what I mean by inconsistent is this: you run hot and cold, you're streaky, okay? In this business, you got to keep your losing streaks very, very, very short and work on extending your winning streaks and make them longer and longer and longer. But more important than the winning streaks being long, the losing streaks need to be short. Now think about it on Facebook. Think about it on Instagram. Think about it on LinkedIn. Think about it at church. Think about it at ball games. Think about it when you go out in public. If you're not consistent in your message, if you're not consistent in your posture, if you're not consistent in your energy and your smile and your enthusiasm and your confidence and all of that, people assume, as they always do, the worst. They always assume that, okay? They assume the worst. So how do we combat that? Well, I don't have time tonight to go into goal setting. And honestly, only 3% of the people set goals, and probably less than that even keep them. Okay, but if you don't have some guideline for goals that you're willing to hold yourself accountable to, if you don't do that, okay, then the consistency is almost impossible. So consistent in what? Okay, let's just talk about that. Well, to me, consistent in using your products, consistent in using more of the products as time goes by. See, if you started on 1 or 2 products and you got results, you should be looking for 3 and 4. Then you should be looking 5 and 6. And you should be a consistent user of your products. Okay, what else? You should be a consistent endorser of your products. Okay, that should go without saying. Now let's talk about marketing. You have to determine how many people a day, a week, a month that you're going to share information with, that you're going to give the good word to, that you're going to spread the word to, okay? How many? And whatever that number is, and look, folks, it can't be less than 1 a day. And if it's social media, it needs to be at least 10 a day, because talking to 10 on social media is about equivalent to talking to 1. Maybe not even, it might be more like 20, but I'm just going to call it 10 for tonight because I'm not getting specific with that. My training is on consistency. Okay, that's what I want everyone to do. So you got to determine what it is. So we'll call it 1 a day. Well, that's 30 a month. Okay, so I understand maybe there'll be a day when it doesn't happen. But the next day it has to be 2 to make up for the one that it didn't happen. And what's the key to it? Okay. And you know, I mean, there's a zillion books have been written about this, and the key to it is for you to become self-programmed. The key to it is for it to just become not only a habit, but a habit that requires no thought. In other words, it's like when you got to go to the bathroom, you got to go, you just go, okay? This business needs to become that way, where not only is it a habit, but it's a thoughtless habit, okay? It's something that you do automatic. It's like breathing oxygen. I mean, it needs to become like that. But we're not talking about hard things. We're not talking about going to the gym for 2 hours every day. We're not talking about, stuff that could be really, really challenging and difficult for you to do. We're talking about developing the habit of sharing the message, okay, with people consistently. And what that does, it keeps you sharp. It keeps your skills sharp. It keeps you up to date. It keeps you practicing with objections. It keeps you in the game. You don't get dull. You're not sitting on the bench and not knowing what it feels like to be in the game. You're always in the game, and your skills are always being refined. So, but if we're going to be consistent, we have to take it a little deeper than that. Okay, it's not only consistent with sharing the message, but what are we going to do to define ourselves? What is our thing going to be? Let's say it's if we want to do something on social media. And I'll be the first to tell you, I've had to learn how to do it. It wasn't the way we earned $15 million in our first company. We didn't use social media. We mailed, we faxed, we did meetings in big ballrooms and hotels and training centers, and we did business face-to-face, okay? A lot of phone work, a lot of face-to-face. So we're learning how to use social media, and we're getting better and better with it. I think April signed up 5 people last week, 3 distributors and 2 customers in a week. And we feel that can and should happen every week, where it's 20 a month, okay? We especially with 2 of us, okay? We definitely think that that's a very, very doable number. I know that's Rachel's number. That's what she's targeting. I know that's what, some of the top producers. I'm not really concerned with the top earners in the company if they were here 11 years ago. I'm more concerned with who's advancing through the ranks and is the top producers in the company, okay? So let me get back to social media for a second. So then within whatever vehicle, and you're only going to be able to do one. So you're either going to be a LinkedIn person or an Instagram and Facebook. Sometimes you can work them together because they're linked, and you can post one and it ends up on both. But you're either going to be a LinkedIn person or a Facebook person. And Facebook includes Instagram, okay? You're not going to be able to do both and be good, okay? It'll never work. There's just too many nuances in each one for you to become an expert at it without, an expert at 2 of them. So you got to master one and be able to teach it. And when I mean master it, make it work, and you're making lots of money from it, then be able to teach it. And then if you want to go learn a new skill, you work on another one. That's what I mean. So if we're going to talk Facebook, well, what are you going to, what are you going to master? Well, there's a couple things that need to be done that aren't optional, okay? You need to master adding at least 10 friends a day. That's 300 a month. You say, well, Bobby, I don't have 10 friends. Nobody does, okay? You look at your mutual contacts and you add those. They're right on your Facebook page, okay? It says friend suggestions, and you look at who's got a bunch of mutual contacts like you, and click, click, click. You click 10 of them, and away we go. It doesn't even take a minute, okay? So you got to get good at adding friends. You got to get good at your posting, but then you need to decide, am I going to be consistent with stories? Am I going to be consistent with Facebook Live? Am I just going to post, on the wall? Am I going to have a style? Am I going to make it a personality? What's my theme going to be? See, all of that comes into the equation, and that can evolve. That can adjust, that can evolve, but you got to have something in mind that you're going to be when you go live, when you do stories, when you do posts, okay? Something's got to come out. Are you an animal lover? Are you a foodie? Are you a jock, a sports fanatic? Are you a patriot? Well, what is it that you're going to be, that you're going to build your theme on? And you need to be consistent at that, okay? You got to stay away from the controversial stuff and work to be consistent in your message, okay? And that's all there is to it. There is no perfection. As a matter of fact, perfection doesn't work on social media. If people don't think and see real, then they just tune out, skip, go by, they don't have any interest. The one thing about social media is you need to be real, okay? And that's that, okay? Imperfection is better than perfection, okay? So again, what are you gonna do? What's your consistency gonna be? So I already, and I'll just talk about myself maybe to give you some ideas. I've already second nature without thinking about it. First thing I do in the morning when I log in to say Facebook is I friend 10, 15, 20 people. I do that before anything. It's second nature. It's done before I even have my coffee or maybe before I finish my first cup of coffee, okay? So that's done, okay? On my bike ride, okay, because I check social media and then I go out and do my exercise, okay? On my bike ride, I'm looking for pictures I can take for my story because I think part of my story is going to be when I do exercise, when I do ride my bike, when I am around wildlife, a lot of thoughts come to my head then, and it helps me with posting in stories and it helps me with going live with a thought pattern. Because see, I'm riding 20 miles, so it could be an hour and a half, 2 hours that I'm on the bike. And there's a lot of brain work going on. There's a lot of ideas going on. That's when I'm listening. Sometimes I listen to, crime thrillers or Jane Patterson, but that's when I'm listening either to the Bible or what do you call it, self-improvement, stuff, that stuff. But, for 2 hours, you can divvy it up a half hour each. I mean, you could just divide it up. But a lot of stuff goes on in my head then, and I'm always going to do my live after a bike ride because it's when a lot of things are fresh on my mind. And I'm going to be sweaty and I'm going to have my hat on backwards and my glasses are going to be fogged up. And that's just how it is, okay? And I've decided that's going to be part, of what I do. And those pictures that I get while I'm out are going to help me with stories. I already did my post in the morning. So then when I get settled in for the day, obviously the distributors in the business come first, but when I have time and I'm prospecting, then I'm reaching out and sharing the message about the business or the products, with the contacts that I've been acquiring. So see, it's already second nature for me. I already have a routine. It's easy for me to be consistent because no thought required. The only thought required is I don't want to miss a good picture of, an alligator crossing the street or a turtle or, traffic stopping for ducks crossing over. So I don't want to miss that. So there may be a little bit of thought required there. But other than that, I kind of have a routine that's going to allow me to do this. So whatever it is, everything works. There is no perfection. It's consistency, being a habit, being a regular. You develop a following. People tune in when they see you go live. If you're being consistent with your message, it builds and it builds and it builds. And then people start sharing it. And when they start sharing it, it really builds, okay? See, it only get to a certain size with your friend base until there's a consistency level there and a quality message there, and then people start sharing it. And when it starts to get shared, that's when all of a sudden you're talking to people that aren't your friends. See, they're your friends' friends, but they're not your friends. And that stuff gets exciting, okay? Because now you're getting out there to people that otherwise you wouldn't have reached. So everything leads to the next thing. And I'm going to close with this, okay? And the most important thing you and I could ever do is create those habits, become consistent, and learn to not only create momentum, but maintain momentum. And that's why I'm such a big fan, and that's why I talked about it this morning in my live, of, you know, the close of the month. See, it's not just closing the month for the previous 30 or 31 days, but the momentum that that creates carries over to start the new month on the right track. So if you're a dud at the close, you're a dud at the beginning. If you've sprint through the finish line at the close, you're still running when the new month starts. That's why I'm such a big fan of that, okay? Because it's tying in multiple months at a time and sending the right message, okay? So double check your numbers for your 500 points. You definitely don't want to, I know one of the gifts for doing it is a $200 gift card that you can spend in the LifeVantage store. Now, I don't know about you, but I like a lot of the LifeVantage shirts, workout shirts, t-shirts, all that kind of stuff. I could spend that in a heartbeat, okay? But double check your points and look at rank advancement for tonight. But, you know, this is the end of the summer. We're getting into September, Labor Day is coming up, and now we're in the fall. And the fall right through New Year's is hot season in this business. Okay, you notice you're not hearing a whole lot more about the virus. You know, it's toning down. Not that we still don't have to be careful and stuff, but it's, you know, I guess it's in political season now. So, you know, they got other stuff to fight about or argue about, but it's quieting down, or I should say ratcheting down. And we need to just kind of get back to business and get back to normal and be careful and safe while we do it. But, you know, it's just time to do that. So if April and I can help you in anything, reach out to us. We're always up to midnight on the close of the month. So, you know, if anything's happening last minute, just text us. Other than that, let's close the month strong. Let's start September tomorrow, you know, on the right track. And we'll be back for our daily chat tomorrow at 6 o'clock and Thursday at 6 on Zoom. So if we missed you tonight, I'm going to send this out to the team. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a great night, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.